we can go ahead and kind of introduce everybody in and get rolling.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay, well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We've got our first networking session of the morning with the Law, Public Safety, Corrections, and Security updates. My name is Owen Tharp. I'm with the University of Tennessee. I will be your room host today, and what that means is that I will be kind of muting you all as you come in, but I will also be checking the chat. So you're encouraged to provide questions. You can use the microphone as you want, but if you don't feel comfortable with that, I will be checking the chat as well. So I'll be providing those questions to Sloan there. Sloan and I are backed up with a 10 o'clock. So about the 3-minute mark, we will then kind of cut us off there and give you all the key words so that we can move on to our 10 o'clock on time. And with that, Sloan, I will turn that over to you.
Hey, everybody. It's so exciting to see the number of people that have signed up for sessions this year. I was just talking to Sarah, my boss, and telling her that this session had 50-ish people, and the next session, which is a repeat of this one, had about the same number. And she commented and said, you would never have this many if we were in person, and she is right. We would never have this many. So I'm really excited that you are joining us. And I just want to go over some stuff, and then we'll have time for questions or comments, whatever. But I wanted to share with you this year, I reviewed the program of study, all 3 programs of study in this cluster. I know that just a couple of years ago, we updated standards, etc. But at that time, we were reviewing all of the programs of study for every program manager, and then we put them on a rotation. And so this year we did the law, public safety justification. And so as I went through that, basically didn't notice any changes in data. We always look at labor market data because, you know, what we do as teachers, we prepare the workforce for the state. And so we look at state data to decide if programs need to be changed, if content needs to be added, based on what the local or state job market looks like. So I didn't really notice any changes in any of the data that I looked at. Didn't really feel like we needed to add any new courses or programs of study. And so really there were no major changes to any of the programs of study or courses. I did meet with the Advisory Council for Law, Public Safety, Corrections, and Security this last fall. And there were some recommendations that came out of that I did try to incorporate into the standards as we reviewed them. And so there were some suggestions for things like conflict resolution, responding to critical incidents, officer stress, and private security, dealing with rallies, diversity in the police department, and a drone course. And so basically out of all of that conversation, a couple main things took place. We will be in the future, not in this cycle, revising the standards format, which I think probably makes everyone happy. I know law and public safety teachers are always talking to me about going back to competency lists instead of the standards being so long and wordy, and also the standards, the way they're written, that it makes it look like we are assigning the assignment instead of you. And so we are going to be revising that format. Probably will be a blend. We'll have some kind of narrative and then also some list. This year, as I was looking through the standards and revising them, I tried to be really cognizant of pulling out some of those assignment statements and leaving it a little more open for you to feel comfortable deciding on what assignment to make for your students. I know that when I was teaching, I didn't always do exactly what the assignment was in the standard, and I didn't really see any point in leaving those in there. So I did remove some of them, and you'll see that when you see the new standards. And then also, so as I worked on them and got them together, lots of feedback from a lot of people, lots of law public safety teachers reviewing them, helping me with incorporating some of the new content that the advisory council and other teachers had wanted to see. And so out of that came the revised standards that you can find on the State Board of Education's website. So there's an agenda on the website, on this website, that you can pull down. And in that agenda are the links to the State Board website and to a comment form. And so comments are open. The feedback period is open until August 26th. So you can feel free to go in, look at all of the courses that were submitted to the State Board this year, and then make any kind of comments that you would like on the document that you find linked on the agenda. And then those things will come to me, and I will look back through them and make any changes to the standards that that are requested, as long as I can get them fit in. So understand that sometimes, because there's a certain number of standards, I hate to just keep on adding standards, because that makes it harder for you. And so I try to not change the standards too much, but incorporate your ideas into the standards that are already there. And so just know that if you suggest some change that's huge, that probably won't happen this year, because we have gone to first reading. So between first and second reading, I can make changes on those standards based on your feedback, and then they'll go before the board for second reading, and then that'll be the final deal for another 3 years. So kind of be aware, when you're making those comments and trying to get your point across, that it's not too big of a change that you're looking to see. And I'll try my best to update anything that you see that you're concerned with. Fill out the form stack. But if you are just really passionate about something and you want to talk about it, then shoot me an email, and we can set up a time for a phone conversation, and we can work on that together. So those items, as I said, are linked in this agenda. So let me know what your thoughts are. I did change in the pre-law program of study. We had that fourth course was one of the work-based learning, service learning courses, and we did create a practicum for pre-law. So those of you who teach pre-law, that fourth level now is the practicum, and that would give your students, I think, a little more leeway, and you into a legal office or a courtroom, whatever you can arrange for them. And so that was the main big change that happened. But also, pretty exciting, a drone course got added. And so last year we piloted through Ag and Transportation a new drone course. And that drone course ends with a student being a certified drone pilot. There's a specific description, so don't quote me exactly. But that course is on the website for State Board, and you can go there and look at that course. So what I did when I worked on that course, I took the standards that had to be in the course based on the certification, because we want to make sure if we're teaching the course that the student can pass the test. So I put those standards in. I copied them straight from the approved course that Ag and Transportation were using. And then I worked with one of the Tennessee state troopers who works with their big drones section, and he helped me link the other standards to the content that was directly related to law enforcement. So we're really excited about that. That course is not available for the 2021 school year. It will be ready 21-22. So as it's at state board now, and then it'll be whatever revisions come up between now and the next meeting, then from there, it will be ready to go for you guys for next year. There is a drone training here at Institute. And if you get on the schedule, you'll find where that is, and you're welcome to join in just to hear what they're talking about. It's probably a little more centered around the other two clusters right now because those are the folks that are attending that training. But you're welcome to go to that session and hear anything that they have to say about the drone courses. So we're really excited about that, and I hope you are. That gives us a certification, which is something that you guys are really hoping for. And then speaking of certifications, we are ready and accepting certification suggestions. So in the agenda is a link to the form that you would use to recommend a new certification. So, you know, a couple years ago, I tried really hard to get a certification for the Law and Public Safety Cluster, and I was so close. And then the department decided to just table any certification discussions. And so finally, we're back to it. If you want to recommend a certification, you have to fill out that form. If you know lots of different districts and teachers and folks that are interested in the same certification, then get together and one person can fill out the form for the certification. We don't need 100, we just need one. So if you have some buddies that you want to work with, or you want to talk to your CTE director and have your director work with some other directors and make those certification suggestions, then feel free to do that. I want to talk about certifications some more, but because I have a feeling that that's going to take up a few minutes. But I wanted just to remind you too that on the document that's on this site, there's also a link to your Law and Public Safety page at the Department of Education, and that's where you'll find program of study resource lists, because we did update the resources in the fall. So new resources, new equipment list, and then the justification documents. Now, the ones that we just created are really cool. They're infographics, and you'll be able to print those and use them for your marketing materials as well. We've requested to have those uploaded. They're not uploaded yet because I just checked this morning, but that's another thing that's on that agenda. So you do want to go ahead and pull that agenda and download it because it's got a lot of good links. So for the rest of the time, I want to just have conversation about whatever questions you have about the new standards or certifications. So if you want to talk, I guess probably Owen can kind of help us regulate who's talking when. And when you have a question, just unmute yourself and let her rip.
I have a question.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, so the certification for the drone, like what do we have to be able to teach that, or what our aviation person has to teach it?
No, the aviation person does not have to teach it. There is some training, and I'm not sure exactly what that entails. I can probably find that out and get you some more information. It's not something that I dove heavily into, other than the fact that I was trying to get that course written so I could get that out there for you. But I will find out about the training, and if you have to have a certification, I will check on that.
I see Derek Frazier here. Looks like he has a question.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
That works out pretty good because I I run a drone business on the side, so this I'm pretty familiar with.
Okay, so
I have an FAA 107. It's basically, and it's fairly easy to get. It's not too bad, but you have to learn a lot of basic airman knowledge to fly a drone. I've been flying drones for about 5 years now.
mhm.
So you're saying that in not this year, but it's going to be implemented in the 21, 20. Yeah, it's the
21, 22.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's going to be implemented in that area. So,
Yep.
is there, you say on the website that's uploaded, is it going to be some information on what that consists of and what the standards on the drone? Is that already there? Something we can read into?
Yes, the standards are on the state board website. So if you just go to the agenda and there's a link there.
Okay.
So you can look at the standards, and then I would have to look, I can't promise because it's not my cluster, but I think there's probably a one-pager for the certification either on the ag website or the transportation website. So if you just go, their website looks just like ours. If you'll go to that website, go to the resources, scroll down to industry certifications, there should be a one-pager on that.
Okay. Thank you. That
Mhm.
excites me. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I am too. I think it's going to be great.
All right. Thanks.
I've got Kylie Johnson next.
All right.
So to reiterate what you were saying, and I might have missed this, only one person needs to be certified, or should there be more than one person? Because I know my aviation teacher is getting certified in drone. He's kind of going ahead and doing that right now.
Mhm.
Would it be helpful if we have large amounts that want to do that and be certified, that I get certified?
I would think that if you're going to be the teacher, you're going to need whatever that requirement is. I'll look while we're chatting and see.
And then I had another second question. I know we had spoke back in the fall about adding the drug education. Is that looking like something that's going to go back into our standards again, where they removed it the last time when they revised the standards?
Don't know. Not that I'm
Okay.
saying that I don't know if it's going to get back in. The standards are already updated. They've gone to state board. Give me a second. I'll see. I can't remember. I'm so sorry. I mean, if you,
I just checking
it's
on
a
that
huge amount of work, and I've revised 8 courses, and it's just, I don't even remember. I'll have to go back and look. But you can also look, and if it
Okay.
didn't get back in the courses, you need to fill out that form on the state board website, and that's how that information gets back to me for me to look at where it would need to go. Let's see. I don't. Okay, I'm still looking for the certification one pager. What other questions do you have?
I'm good. Thank you.
I see here Ben Silcox has unmuted. I believe that might be a question coming in.
Okay. Hey, Ben.
Hey, no, sorry, it wasn't supposed to be unmuted.
Ben, can you repeat that? You're coming in pretty quiet. Oh, never mind. Okay. Well, I do see here, we have just a comment for you here that TCA codes need to be added back as well.
Okay.
And could someone provide a link to the info from the website? Derek, you might want to clarify what that website is for us, please. And that's updates.
The updates to the standards, the link is in the agenda that you can find on this website. on the Institute website, if you'll look at where you clicked on this particular session, the agenda is there. It's also, we're doing the same session again, and the agenda is there as well. So either place, you can get that, and the links are in there. If you have other questions or you need anything, just email me, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. I do know that in the past, you guys have wanted the unarmed security guard, and you've wanted the dispatcher certifications, and so those need to be sent to me. Like I said, if you want to get together a bunch of people and one person send it in, that's fine. But anything else, any other certification that you think would be valid, fill out the form. The form will tell you if, you know, kind of where you stand. If there's a couple questions that just totally zero it out. If it doesn't fit these two things, then forget it. And so you'll know right away whether or not you need to continue to fill out the form, but just fill it out and send it in. We're going to be looking at everything that comes in. Are there any other questions or suggestions, anything about industry certs that you need me to know? Nobody? I'm still looking at the ag standards to see if I can find the drone course. I can't believe y'all don't have any more questions or comments than this. You're usually a little more talkative.
You were the first session I could figure out how to turn on. Just being honest.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Finally.
And Sloan, while you're looking for that there, I believe, Janice, that might have been a question I saw coming in from you.
No, I was just agreeing with Fagan. Yesterday was hard.
Okay. Yes, the teacher, back to the drones, the teacher has to have the Part 107 certification for to be able to teach the course and the student, for the students to test. So if you're the teacher of record, you're going to need that certification.
So is that course going to be under criminal justice or under drone or under, I'm sorry, transportation?
No, it'll be ours. The one for criminal justice is under criminal justice.
Okay, then. That's why I wanted to make sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hey, Derek. Can Derek hear me? How hard is that 107 class? I mean, is it something that, like, somebody that doesn't know anything about drones would be?
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough for you if you don't know. I mean, it's nothing you can't pass. There's a really good YouTube video that's probably an hour long that'll kind of it's by Tony Northup or something like that. And you can type that in, study for FAA 107. It goes through that, and they go through a lot of that. If you're not, I mean, it's going to take a little time for you to do it, but it's well worth it. I advise if anybody takes a course, if your school will pay for it. Mm-hmm. The best course out there is Remote Pilot 101. I'm not sure how much it costs now. I'm sure you could probably put it in your CTE director, or maybe somebody like that could probably purchase that for you. But it's the best school to take in this, or the course, and it's Remote Pilot 101. right now when you get certified, your certification lasts 2 years, and after 2 years you have to recertify, but it's a shorter. I do know that the test itself, the initial test you take, you'll have to go. There's certain locations. I had to go to a Naval Air Force base to take the test. It's very strict. They give you 2 hours, and I think there's like 200 questions, and you got to make I think you got to make an 80 or above on it. So, I mean, it definitely, you're going to have to study some stuff, but I'm into that stuff. So it was fun for me. It may be a little challenging for you, but I'm excited about it. I'm just trying to find more info to show my CTE director. I'm pretty pumped about it.
Yeah. Well, it's possible if we, when we have Institute next year, then, Derek, maybe you can do a session and you can ask some questions, answer some questions. Also, whenever we have any other trainings and we're looking for people to present, I'll just remember to holler at you, and you can, share your expertise since you do this already. So that's cool. It's good to have somebody in the group that kind of has a background already that can help us with questions, etc.
I've got a question.
Okay.
It's more for Derek. What's the cost on the certification for the test?
The last time I took it, 3 years ago, I'm not sure it's changed much, but it was $150.
Okay.
It's $150 to take it. You'll probably want to take a course. I wouldn't. I think you. And if you fail it, it still costs $150.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If we don't have any more questions, we're gonna jump on out of here because we've got to start our next session. But if you have any questions at all, feel free to contact me, and just let me know what you need. All right. I hope y'all have enjoyed the conference so far, and you'll have some more really cool things to go to. So see you guys.
Hey, don't forget about the keyword.
Yep, everybody, your keyword is pink, P-I-N-K, capital P. I will put that into the chat as well here.
All right.
Before we go, can I ask a general question?
Yeah.
Typically at the conferences, you're stumbling around with your coffee, you step out into a hallway, you read a sign, somebody directs you there, you get into things. So it took me 20 minutes to figure out how to even find the conference site because it wasn't saved in my history for some reason. And this seemed to be the only thing going right at this moment. So I logged in because I'm in corrections, and I did see corrections, so I jumped on it. But it seems like it's really difficult to find sessions that are open and then how to log into them on time. So I only got a couple yesterday, and I spent all day at it. So anybody have any inputs on that?
Did you take a look at the schedule?
The schedule that I have that I've been able to find, again, it's all, your computer remembers where things were. So it's the proposed schedule. I've got it printed out. I don't have anything updated. And there's also a lot of cancellations. So I haven't figured out how to find a complete and update schedule that I can just pick off of. But it's probably because I'm not finding it.
Let me, I'm going to share with you here if I can find this email, I'm going to share you this.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm also in corrections, and if he could message me through the site portal, I'll give him a phone number and we can talk about what's available on the correction side during the conference.
Owen, can they continue to chat if we end this meeting?
They cannot, no.
Okay.
That's a bummer. Is there any way that we can hook up with an informal something like this where we can just put out a subject or whatever and get together and chat on it? Because the resources available, even in this room that I'm looking at, I'm actually taking notes with the ones that have said where they're from. you know, it's fantastic as far as we're all together. But normally, say at the lunch break or whatever, you would sit with the people you just saw in a session and connect. And I do see there's resources for doing that somehow, but figuring it out. And a lot of us really aren't that savvy on the technology stuff. I mean, for me, this is completely new. I started Friday night learning how to do all of it. So, and where I work in my corrections facility, we don't have computers at all. So, you know, I don't ever use a laptop or a tablet at work. So, you know, it's what I do on my own time. And a lot of that is minimal. So I'm running it like some of my coworkers flat out wouldn't come to the conference because they didn't want to do the learning curve of figuring out how to do it. So that is one of the issues we're dealing with.
Okay. Owen, did you share in the chat the link that he can go to?
I have just shared that with you.
Okay.
And that will be your tech support there. Sorry to kind of cut that answer short, but Sloan, we are a minute.
We have to go. Yeah. So look at what he sent you and contact that tech support and they should help you.
They're running it like a chat box now.
All right. Bye.